Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live programs. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jennifer Savage, and I will be your host for today's show. We are excited to be presenting our 13th episode of Jack Price is Right. And today we will be exploring Medicate as it relates to our lives, our experiences, and anywhere from the lens of musician, artist, manager, performer, and all the way down to the eye level of the crude and unfiltered human being. Medication. Does it work? There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and this could leave you with more questions than simple answers, but it's more real that way, and that's what we're here for. Welcome to the Jack Price is Right live show, and just to show you what we're about, here is a little preview to recap our last installment. Topic of sayings.
All kinds of nonsense going on, and I'm sorry for people that don't disagree with me. They are wrong, and Jack is right. That's all I have to say about that.
That's the name of the show. Pretty good introduction, I guess.
Pretty good introduction, yeah. You're not going to believe this, but you need to tell me what a placebo is. I hate to say it, I really don't.
Really? Well,
yeah, I really don't know
are...
what it is. Why would you make up a saying that's false? That sayings are so true that people are actually afraid of them. They're kind of uncomfortable, some of the sayings, you know, if your measure of success can change everything instantly. I have found that if I don't believe in that essential oil, it won't help me. If you believe you can love them, I think you can. Think on the bright side of life, you know. Yeah, they love them because they remind them of things. It's a gimmick.
Yeah.
I couldn't play the next note until I fully heard every sonority and every quality of that chord before it. I just, I couldn't. 1, 2, 3. That's just totally boring. Why would you play something absolutely the way it's written on the score? That's not interpretation. That's called execution. And of course, they don't want to do that.
Right.
I'm telling you, belief in something is 99% of it. not the actual antidote that makes it happen. Your mind is very, very powerful. So the sayings are extensions of our beliefs, aren't they not? Saying, and I think I've gotten into tremendous trouble with my mouth. Okay, I've said a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying it's good. You know, I love you, honey. You know, you say to your significant other. Well, my answer to that is, that's a bunch of baloney. Show me. True. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. You see, that's always.
And
been
here's
my
another
problem.
one
That follows right up with actions speak louder than words, and that is, if you want something done, do it yourself. You know what I'd love to do? My greatest desire
What's that?
is to go online and tell everybody what I think.
And that was our last episode on sayings. And I just want to reiterate, welcome to the Jack Price's Right Show. I'm your host, Jennifer Savage. It's great to be here. And today I'm excited to be joined live with my co-host and celebrated partner in crime, Dikran Atamian, otherwise known as Jack Price. And just to give a little introduction, formerly known as Dikran Atamian and now known as Jack Price, he began his career in artist management in response to his own career as an RCA recording artist after winning first prize in the 50th anniversary Naumburg competitions, as well as being known as the crazy pianist who premiered The Right for solo piano. Jack Price, welcome to the show.
I still think.
Awesome, great.
I still think this should be a stand-up routine. You know.
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is not. I don't even know what this show is anymore. By the way, I really.
It is what we make of it.
Yeah, the last reel was good. That was
a great reel. Yeah. And let's get right into it and dive headfirst into our topic of today, which is Medicate. A very interesting choice of topic. So what do you really mean, Jack Price or Richie? What do you really mean when we're talking about Medicate or medicating?
Or medication. Okay, so the question is, of course, behind the first door, right? I think you have that coming up.
Yeah, so let's see what's
Would you like to go to the first door?
Yeah, let's go right into the first door. And let's see what's behind door number 1. What makes it work when it comes to Medicate?
Well, that's a very interesting
medication. Go ahead.
That's a very well. Thank you. That's a very interesting question, and the answer is a previous show and a coming up show, a show that probably ends the series. I think faith and belief. That's what makes it work.
Yep. Listen, some of our previous show topics. They're all
there's nothing.
Here.
They're all interconnected. This one's unbelievably connected. That's why everybody said when they heard about Medicate or medication, they said, "Are you going to talk about marijuana?" Or my son asked me, "What drugs are you talking about? Ecstasy or what?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I can't." Thank you.
That's
thank you. The Parisian police, or the Romanian police,
the German.
I prefer Budapest. Yes, Budapest has great sirens. Anyway, so listen.
European
the deal is nothing works unless you have faith, but faith is much stronger than just belief. Now, I'm not going to go into that right now. That's the last show, I think. In
faith
this
is much stronger than just belief.
Oh yeah, I can. Here's a glimpse. I think that'll work. I believe that'll work. That's not very solid. That's not a solid statement. Like if you say something to me and I go, "Yeah, I believe it'll work." That's sort of like saying it might.
That's sounds a bit.
But faith, you can't rock a person's faith. So if you medicate, let's say someone says you are suffering from ankylosing spondylitis. I bet nobody knows what that is, but few of us do because I've got it. So anyway, ankylosing spondylitis is this little sliver of part of your hip in the waist area. It's sort of arthritic, very painful if you don't exercise a lot. And it's very painful if you don't have the right medication, which is the answer to that is diclofenac, okay? Or diclofenac, or whatever they call it, the one I take. It's better than Indocin, by the way, if people want to know. It's much less dangerous on your liver and whatnot. But anyway, back to medication. If I don't think diclofenac works, if I have a bad attitude, guess what? And I've tested it. It doesn't work. It's not that it's a placebo. It's not that it's a placebo like you were talking about. It's not a sugar pill. It's a real pill. But I found that the more I believe in something and the more faith I have in something, meaning medication, of course, because that's the topic, the better it works. As a matter of fact, it works great. I have a great example. Someone told me recently, oh, you should get a shingles vaccine. You know, they're advertising it all over Sam's and Costco and all this stuff. Well, I've had it twice, and guess how I got rid of it in 2 days?
Okay.
With now I'm going to tell you what I did.
With a different mindset towards it?
No. I love this show because it's all about manual. You have to have a manual for life. Here's your manual. Go to doTERRA.com and get some essential oils. Look up shingles on the app. It'll tell you exactly what oils to take and mix it with coconut oil or whatever. And it was gone. 3 applications, it was gone. Everybody goes, that's a miracle. I said, yes, it is actually. And that ties in to the next part of this. I love this topic.
Door
in
2.
the Bible. Well, no, not door 2 yet.
We're already
not door
kind
2
of
yet. Not quite.
Already. Okay, go
all
on.
Right, well then, all right, door 2. Go to door 2.
Let's go ahead and see what's behind door number 2.
Yeah.
So do you have to believe in it when it comes to medication?
You must.
Medicating. Okay.
You must. You absolutely have to 200,000%, or it won't
You must.
work.
Okay.
Now, if you go in for a surgery, you know, like on your gallbladder, and it's got to come out because you're tired after you eat, you got to lie down. I know all these symptoms because I've got these crazy people around me all the time who have everything.
Right.
They're all hypochondriacs. So let's say you got to get your gallbladder out. You've got to believe that surgery is going to work, because I know a guy that went to Tucson, Arizona and got it out, and it didn't do a damn thing. Sorry, excuse the language, my French, because he had a terrible attitude going into the surgery, and it sort of worked and sort of didn't. Now, doctors will say you don't need any belief. It's cold. It's empirical data. It works. Heart transplant works. If you get a triple bypass or a heart transplant, believe you me, you need to believe in it.
Believe that it will work.
So
could make all the difference.
This whole topic is cyclic, okay? It's like the Prokofiev Sixth Sonata. That theme, you know, it comes back in the last movement, you know. I forget because I haven't practiced it. It's much faster than that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that theme comes back in the last movement, as everyone knows in this section here.
And it's like cyclic, similarly.
Something like that. Listen to the recording. I can't remember it anymore. For those of you that don't know, I haven't played in public in 18 years. So, you know.
But how it relates is that it's cyclic.
I'm somebody different now. So the point is that third yadadam comes back in the last movement. It's cyclic. This whole thing is cyclic. And that by that I mean, if you take medication and you take it for a while and you have sort of like, oh, I'm going to take this because my doctor said so.
Right.
It's going to come back to bite you. Sometimes I have found the medication has the opposite effect. You've got to
Really?
believe in what you're doing. Yes, it's like it's all the same. Remember, we've covered this before. Everything is the same. For example, if you don't believe in an interpretation and you have faith in your approach, it's not going to come off. The audience will notice, oh, there's something wrong. It's like, he doesn't
It's
really.
missing the
it's not really-
conviction. It doesn't quite
Yes.
cut it.
Conviction. Excellent word, Savage. I love that
Right.
word. It's the word we're looking for. Bingo. Yes. That's why you're paid the big bucks. Yes.
Right. Around here.
Pretty good. Okay, so here's Larry would love you
But yeah,
right
it's
now.
missing
So anyway,
that little bit, that last
Yeah.
part, that conviction.
Well, it's not a little bit. It's the whole ball of wax. Now, here's the cyclic part. It goes back to the Bible. I'm glad you brought up belief in the second door. Jesus said to a leper or someone, "Your faith has healed you." Have you heard this before? And the guy is just
This was an
amazed.
example you were trying to make earlier.
Yeah, because the guy, the leper or whatever, thinks Jesus healed him. He thinks he has supernatural powers and he's just a prophet and the son of God or whatever, and he can just touch someone and heal them. That's true. Maybe if you believe that's true. But
Yeah.
he says, the prophet himself or the son of God or whatever you believe, your faith has healed you. He has a humble approach to his healing, to his own healing. He's telling you that he's telling you right there, if you do not believe in it, meaning his hand touching you, you're not healed.
Right.
And you will not be healed. You have to believe in the healing. You have to believe in the medication. If you're taking Indocin, diclofenac, Lipitor, any of these drugs you see on TV where they say they all cause death, that's really funny.
Right.
Like, why would anyone take any of this medication if it all causes death and 5 other more diseases known to man, right? I mean, you've seen these
So
commercials
is there a
like where they
difference
go,
though? But is
Go
there a
ahead.
difference between having faith or believing in, you're saying, rather than just believing in a medication, is it even stronger to have faith in it, to truly have faith in it? Because you made that
Absolutely.
distinction earlier.
I don't think you can take
Like,
any
do you have to
pill.
believe in it, or is it, do you have to believe in it, or is it, do you have to truly have faith in it? And how much of a difference does that make?
I think you have to have faith in it. Belief is a fleeting thing. I can say to you, Jennifer, yeah, I believe that'll work. I told you this before. That's not very strong conviction. That's not an endorsement of any kind. That means I can go either way. But if you say, I have faith in you, I have
It kind of
faith
just
in
sounds
this
like
pill.
a pretty,
Pretty good.
yeah, I'll
No,
believe in it.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's like him saying that, although he's more on the faith side. He really thinks that's pretty good. But the point is, because
Really?
of the inflection, well, yeah, you can tell on the show that he really thinks it's pretty good. But pretty good is not good enough. It's not good enough. What you've got to do in all of these cases is firmly plant your feet on the ground and say, I take a stand. This medication's going to work. I believe in this doctor, or I believe in this holistic healer, or I believe in crystals like the new age healers. All this stuff's going on all the time. You've got to believe in it, like a placebo. Have you ever noticed how people can take sugar pills and feel better? It's their mind.
Right.
It's all in their mind and their heart. That's what it is. And so when Jesus says your faith has healed you, he means exactly that. It's no good without faith.
All right. Well,
The
that wraps up
medication.
what's behind door number 2. Do you have to believe in it? Do you have to have faith in it? And those differences. But let's pivot here really quickly with a little clip that we'd like to show to switch things up. And stay tuned right here on Jack Price is Right. And that was one of our clips right here on the Jack Price is Right archive. I do want to take a moment here to mention that we are live every Friday with Jack Price is Right. And we've got so many hard-hitting topics. Almost 70. I mean, I'm hearing that there's almost 200 coming up as well in store coming up. And so just don't miss out. Stay tuned right here. Coming up, this is also our next episode. And here is a little bit of a preview of the next topic, which is going to be on loyalty. Loyal to who or what, and who deserves it. And you can check us out here on our YouTube channel at Virtual Concert Halls. We are also on all the major streaming platforms, such as Twitch, LinkedIn, Alignable, just streaming to all of these places, and find out more on virtualconcerthalls.com as well as priceattractions.com. We would also love to hear back from you. I mean, we had so much feedback from our first few shows, especially, and everyone had their take on our topics, such as truth, faith, all of these things. Yeah, you can see them right here up on the screen on all our hard-hitting topics. And we'd love to hear any and all comments, which are welcome, positive or negative, of course. But back to what we were saying, and let's move on to door number 3 with our topic of Medicate. So when do you stop when it comes to medicating, medication?
Yeah, that's
What's your take?
Well, my take, this is $6 million question. Like if you have a cough, you take these little pills, they're like transparent. They give you, they're called, whatever.
Like the water pills?
No. The ones for the cough, like during COVID.
The
question is, you get relief right away, but the doctor says, take them all the way 10 days, take the cycle, do it the complete time that I prescribe. But then again, I hear, it's hard on your liver, it's hard on your kidneys. I mean, everything you do has a consequence in life. And that's what bothers me about life, is like you hear about these drugs on television. Take this and your, cancer will go away or whatever. I know it's not cancer.
It'll just magically disappear.
No, but it causes 20 other problems.
Right.
What do? I ask you. I am baffled by this. What does a person do? That's where faith or belief or both come in. You've got to take a stand. Do I think I should take this pill for 10 days? Do I think I should think a certain way when playing a piece for how long? That's medicating too. I mean, telling your mind what to do
when to
before
stop.
Walking on stage is medicating. The mind is a powerful thing. You can medicate it. It doesn't have to be, cocaine. Okay.
Right.
You don't have to use a drug to escape things. You could use an attitude like a drug to help you do something. So
what you're saying, the way you're using medicate as a term is almost as if it's like self-regulating, which kind of also relates to our previous topic of discipline and patterns, which we talked about, having that routine and knowing when to stop or when to start a certain thing.
For example,
pattern.
Yes, we talked about backstage before you walk on stage. Some people like, I need to collect my thoughts. That is a form of medication. They go off in a corner of the concert hall or the green room or their dressing room, and they won't see anybody. And they've got to, I'm just the opposite. I medicate myself by telling jokes. I invite everybody into my, or they tell me the jokes and I laugh because I love to laugh. Bring them into the dressing room, and anything but the first note of the recital or concerto is what I'm thinking about. I don't want to think about the thing. Mind. It's like Sales 101. This is medication. Sales 101 says, talk about anything except the thing you're selling. The weather, politics, your grass, your pool chemicals, your lawn chemicals, and then say, by the way, at the end, I've got so-and-so. She's a really good pianist. Why don't you look at her?
Right.
You see, you don't talk about the object of your
the elephant
sale.
in the room.
Yeah, you don't talk about the object of your sale all day long. You talk about everything but the object of your sale. That's sales 101. Okay? So when you're about to walk on stage, you shouldn't think about, oh, wow, I'm about to play the, You should think, it's really had an interesting walk in Central Park today. Something like that to take your mind off.
Though? Right.
To take your mind off it. I'm going to tell you why. But first, let me say, if you take your mind off something, is that not self-medication? I mean, this is all tricking your mind into doing stuff. That's what it is. But medication can have a very physical effect. I'm not saying that,
it's purely just mental, right?
No, it's not purely
its
mental.
own physical effects as well, but the way you think about it will change, can make a difference in how much it affects you.
Yeah, I know a guy that didn't take his blood pressure medicine and cholesterol medicine, and he had a heart attack and died. Okay, now you can say he didn't believe in it, or he didn't take his medication, and that's why he died. There are all kinds of ways to look at this, like you say at the top of the show. Many angles, many ways to interpret. That's the power of interpretation and perspective. Like the law, I hate to jump, but it's the same thing. Judges and lawyers, they're only interested in two things: expediency and enforcement. They are not interested in interpreting the law pertaining to your case. They want to get it over with and go home and watch their Andy of Mayberry reruns. That's what they want. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. You will find that I'm right most of the time. You can find a lawyer who is
the name of the show.
Ethical. You can truly find an ethical lawyer, and he's so nice. And oh my gosh, he always answers my calls very, very much in a timely manner. Wrong answer. They never call you back when you want them to call you back. My lawyers unilaterally call me 2 weeks later after my very panicky call.
Great. Well, so
you need to
when you stop.
So you need to medicate yourself then and say something to yourself to calm yourself down. Medication has to do with all kinds of things. When do you stop? When your mind tells you to, or your heart. You can't just stop because so-and-so tells you to stop after 10 days. You've got to believe in it. If you're feeling good, if you feel very positive about what you've just done with whatever drug, then stop. Don't just keep taking it. That's my opinion. That's not a doctor's opinion. That's just my opinion. I think you've got to know your body. Right. You got to know your body. You got to know when to quit. You got to know when to start. You got to know, and it all depends, right? We've gone into that before.
Yeah.
The word depends is a huge part of medication. Do I take this drug? Well, it depends.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's always, it depends. Right.
Depends on what? Oh, well. Yeah. Well, actually, they're wheeling me into the operating room, so I need, I need the gas, Well, yeah, it depends because otherwise you're going to feel them cutting yourself. They're going to cut your breastbone in half, and I don't think you're going to like that. So you need what? You need the juice. Yeah. What's it called? Anesthesia.
The juice. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, anesthesia. Yeah, you need the anesthesia so that you won't feel the pain. That's a good time to start it. I wouldn't end it until the operation's over. Okay?
Right. Okay.
I mean, you can apply that. You can apply that to anything.
Okay, so in the end, it depends is a huge keyword when it comes to medicating. Any last final thoughts for medicating?
Yes, here's a final thought to the musical audience. When do you stop practicing? That's a form of medication.
Yeah,
when is it? When is it?
Ask ourselves.
Well, when should I stop?
Yeah.
Well,
for some of us, it's almost almost like as much as I can, as like just keep going until you can't drop in, like until you drop.
Yeah, see, that's totally wrong.
Some of us have that mindset, right?
Well, it's a very, very bad mindset. Do the work before you go to the piano or the violin, and you will cut down on all that medication. Practicing is nothing but medicating. It's either working your problems into your playing or getting them out of your playing. Bad practice, you work them in. Good practice, you get them out. Remember, perfect practice makes perfect. It's all tied in together. Everything's cyclic. Everything comes back. I mean, you might as well just say life is life. It's all the same. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, great final thought on medicating here. Yeah, I think we are out of time here, and that is all that we've got for today's topic of medicating. It's been really interesting to get into, and we're kind of tying it all back into practice, into patterns, into faith, especially faith, when it comes to medicating. So yeah, like we're talking about, we never know where the show is going to go, but we do know that our topics are very interconnected, very cyclic, and there's a lot of parallels and relationships between these topics that you wouldn't necessarily think of until you kind of
you just fall into
broaden. You broaden your view and kind of realize that so much of this is related.
Well, yeah, none of it's original. It's just all there. It's how you say it and how you frame it. But it's all there in your mind. You've got the same ideas I do. Maybe there's stylistic differentiation, but they're the same. We're all the same. I love the word same.
Mutual connections. Yeah.
Yeah, because it makes us related. And we are related. In other words, we are the same, but we're different, you see.
Yeah, okay. Well, like we said, it depends. Big word here is depends.
One last comment. If a man changes, doesn't he remain the same man? Yes.
What's that?
Oh, it's a scripture. That's funny, haha. It's a scripture. If a man changes, doesn't he remain the same man?
Is he still the same person at the core?
Yeah, I mean, at the core, he's the same man, but he's different. So what I'm saying is, let's say after medication, are you not the same person? But you've been healed by your faith and the medication. But you're still the same person. You're just not feeling pain, or you're over it, or the cold, or what have you, but you're the same person.
Right. Change doesn't mean you're changing into completely something.
No, change is good and change is bad, but you still end up the same guy or girl, or
at the end of the day,
whatever you are, how you relate. It's like,
all right.
Okay. Let's not get into that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do want to thank you for being with us, Richie. It's been great having you on, and with that, the time is right, and we do have to go. I want to take a quick moment to thank our partners and sponsors. We have so many wonderful collaborators working with us to make this possible, today's broadcast. And also, you can see so many studios, orchestras, so many unexpected places where we find support that are with us every step of the way. And new ones joining us continuously, that we're continuously adding pages. This is the third page of our collaborators reel here, but also shout out to the production team. Today's broadcast was powered by Christian Palagi, directing behind the scenes. Couldn't have done it without you, especially, and we are sincerely grateful to have you along with us for our journey. And with that, I think that's all we've got for you today. This has been Jack Price is Right. I'm your host, Jennifer Savage, and I hope you gotten a little something out of it. I know I did. See you next week.